Good evening. Since I cannot be in two places at once, I'm speaking to you via video tonight. The Indivisible Red and Rural Caucus Zoom meeting is also at 7 p.m., so I am there, yet also here, sort of. I am Philip Nell. I am 56 years old and I have lived in Manhattan, Kansas for 25 years, so nearly half of my life. My day job is professor at a local university that would prefer not to be named at this time. But anyway, I am speaking to you as a member of Indivisible of Manhattan, Kansas. Find us at imhk.org. Thank you for coming this evening. I know you are busy. And I expect you are tired and maybe a bit anxious or sad or worried. And so I want to begin by acknowledging that these are challenging times. And these challenges are much heavier, much harder, more profound for some of us than they are for others of us. So, as we gather here this evening, and as you move through the world more generally, remember those invisible burdens that those around you may be shouldering, and grant them whatever grace you can. And while you're at it, be kind to yourself, too. The exhaustion you're feeling, physical, psychological, spiritual exhaustion, is part of the autocrats' plan. They want to overwhelm us, but we have plans too. We have power too. You are not alone. I mean, if you look around this room, there's evidence that you are not alone, but here's some more evidence that what the regime is doing is wildly unpopular. According to a recent Economist YouGov poll, twice as many Americans strongly disapprove of the president's second term than those who strongly approve of his second term. So to put that another way, 2/3 strongly disapprove, 1/3 strongly approve. Since the beginning of this second term, that's an 11-point increase of disapproval and a 9-point decrease of approval. In fact, there are only 13 U.S. states where his approval is higher than his disapproval, which means that in 37 states, more disapprove. And which side do you think Kansas is on? Do you want to guess? Take a moment. 6.7 more disapprove, which is a rise of a percentage point since a few weeks ago. Every single day, no exaggeration, every single day, new indivisible groups are forming across this country. The resistance is rising. The numbers are on the side of those of us who support democracy. And to be clear, Indivisible is a lowercase d democratic movement because a broad, small d democratic alliance is the only way to beat the autocrats and the fascists, and that is what we are building. We welcome people who usually vote Republican, but recognize the threat that Trump poses to our republic. We welcome people to the left of capital D Democrats, too. Broad coalition. And we have a plan. Because we cannot wait until the midterms to act. Because we are in a period of autocratic breakthrough, a period in which the autocrat tries to consolidate power and act with impunity. And because we too wish there were more people here tonight, more people protesting, more heroes like Hales Bales from Winfield, Kansas, who drove all the way to Sarasota, Florida in search of missing Senator Marshall.
There's his address. There's his house. And I am here, and my Roger Marshall lives in Florida. And my sign that says real Kansans, real voters, real fed up.
In that plan is a non-violent civil resistance movement that engages people across society, encouraging them to refuse to do what the regime expects, and to put pressure on the many pillars of society, encouraging them to refuse to do what the regime expects. Because there are many pillars of society: business, labor, faith, education, military, police, and others. Workers can withhold their labor. Faith communities can refuse to allow their religion to be used as a tool of fascism. Civil servants can refuse to carry out illegal orders. And people have been doing this. Remember the Tesla takedowns? Sales and stock prices plummeted so drastically that Elon Musk had to go back to doing whatever it is that ketamine-addicted paranoid billionaires do. But there's also Sarah and Nama, the Idaho middle school teacher who earlier this year refused her principal's order to take down her "Everyone is welcome here" poster. Her community stood with her. Her students stood with her. And there were the law firms who did not obey Dear Leader's demands that they pay his extortion money, but instead founded Demand Justice, an organization calling out those law firms who did pay the extortion money and vowing themselves to uphold their oath. So, what pillars are you a part of? I'd like you to divide yourself into groups and choose a pillar. Maybe it's business or labor or faith or education or civil service or military police or something that I have not thought of, something that is not represented in this graphic. There are many pillars. This graphic is not inclusive. You may be part of more than one pillar, for that matter, but for the purposes of this exercise, just choose one. Take 15 minutes for conversation and address these 3 questions. How is your pillar upholding the regime? In your pillar, what kind of defiance is already happening? And what could more defiance look like? Indeed, what kinds of defiance? Protest? Persuasion? Non-cooperation? Building alternatives? What kinds of defiance could you imagine in your workplace, your congregation, your union, your school? And then after 15 minutes of conversation, share 2 of your ideas back with the group. And so now, please pause this video of me while people discuss. Go ahead, press pause. I promise the video will still be here. Just press pause. Great! Thanks for taking the time to have that discussion. And now is a moment when you should share those ideas with the larger group. And also pause me again because, I don't know how long the sharing of ideas is going to go on. So just pause again, please. Thank you. Okay, now that you've done that you've had these conversations, that you've shared some ideas, who is ready to have these conversations with others in the community, others who may not have been able to attend this evening, but others who, like you, are concerned about the state of democracy and would like to do something, or might like to do something, who could be invited to do something. This is the current Indivisible initiative, and it's something we can all do right here. We can host community gatherings of people with some kind of connection to each other, and we can discuss what to do and form a plan of action. Hosting a gathering like this lets people know that they are not alone. It lets people know that they have power, because we do have power. Our government does not have the right to tell us not to love our neighbors. We do love our neighbors. We do want a society where all can be free and flourish. This is really not that complex. Cruelty is evil. Kindness is good. And when we work together, we can fight for a society guided by kindness, a society in which the many can flourish. We've put up a quick and dirty guide on how to hold a 1 million Rising Community Resistance Gathering. We've put it right up on the Indivisible Manhattan, Kansas website. You can find it via the QR code you see right now. You can also find it just by going to the website. It's in the calendar section, the do section, the place where there are events and actions to take listed. It'll lead you to the resources that you need. So, after this meeting, let's do it. Let's get to work. Let's do this. Thanks, everybody.